happy to have the opportunity to raise this matter again at Cathaoirleach, because we raised the issue of the reorganisation on topical issues just before the summer recess. And what we're dealing with today, I think the Minister would agree, is the fallout from that reorganisation process. So I'd have to say to you, Minister, your response is something of a curate's egg. It's good in parts, and it appears to me to be somewhat contradictory. I do welcome the fact that there has been engagement now with RACO and with PT Fora, albeit I'd ask you, do you regret the fact that that engagement did not happen before the decisions were made? And would you agree with me that it was somewhat perverse to announce a major reorganisation in advance of work being undertaken on the Green Paper? Now, in your earlier part of your response, you seem to intimate that relocation would be voluntary, people would be consulted, people would be given an opportunity to decide where they might go. But then you went on to talk about the inevitability of mandatory relocations. Can you give us some indication of what quantum of personnel are going to find themselves in circumstances where they will, against their wishes, perhaps have to move to other locations? You also talked about the whole area of a career path, and you spoke about in your response the fact that there would be new promotional opportunities, but in the earlier part of your response you listed a whole plethora of promotional posts that were going to be done away with. So could you clarify that for us? Could you confirm what percentage even of those who will be relocated will be mandatorily relocated? And can you tell us what the timescale is for the changes envisaged? This is certainly a major problem within the area of the Western Brigade, and all of us know that in the environs of Athlone, it's been a particular problem where many young serving members of the Defence Forces who have heavy mortgages, who are under real financial pressure, are seriously concerned about the impact on them and on their families of a forced move to a barracks at a considerable location away from where they're based, and the ensuing costs that will impact on them and on their families and on their children.
Thanks, Deputy. On Tara.
Look, I fully understand where the Deputy is coming from, and I do like I've spoken to some members in the Permanent Defence Forces where barrack closures, the whole reorganisation affects them, their families and everything like that. And of course, the implementation group, which is set up from both the department side and the Defence Forces side, they are working with RACO and the PD Fora to make sure that there is a smooth implementation within the reorganisation of this. And there's no doubt any reorganisation in any department, if it's our own jobs here, we don't like reorganisation, but we're forced to reorganisation. We have a force of 9,500 at the moment. You have to change with the times. We haven't got the number of years ago we had Defence Forces were 11,500 personnel. They're not there anymore. We haven't got the cash to be able to pour into Defence Forces as what we had previously in the last number of years. And I can assure you that the implementation group are very much in talks with both RACO and PD Fora, and I would think that both organisations are very happy with any talks that have gone previously and are continuing. I think the most recent meeting was only a number of days ago with the implementation group and both PD Fora and RACO. And you did mention why both PD Fora and RACO weren't consulted about the reorganisation. Look, the Army, the government makes the policy for the Army, and we have to implement once the policy is put in front of us. Well, then it's up to the government and the Army and the Department of Defence to make sure that is implemented in a very professional way. And I do believe that it is being done in a very, very professional way, and that there is the implementation group are working extremely well at the moment. You spoke about voluntary and mandatory, and I said in my reply, insofar as possible, it will be done on a voluntary basis, and every member of the Permanent Defence Forces will be spoken to and what suits them. And I understand, like, if they have mortgages, their marriages and everything, that absolutely. And like, we don't want to start telling personnel they have to go here, have to go there. But when it comes to it, of course that is going to happen. And I think, Deputy, you would understand that in any reorganisation of any department or any organisation, that there is people that will be happy and there are some people who will be unhappy. But it is the implementations plan to make everyone happy insofar as possible.